I've got asked this question within the last month at least 100 times. I thought I should do a video to answer future questions. And what is this question about? Is this a good time to buy a house? You know, with the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, there's been a lot of talk about the housing market. The news is not where you should get information, about housing. Information about housing can be gotten from doing some research. And most of the time when the newscasts talk about housing, they give you a general overview of the entire country, which is not always reflecting your particular situation. If a journalist was to ask me if this is a good time to buy, the question I'll ask him is, number one, what market are you talking about? Because if you look at the national average from the first quarter, from January 1st to March 31st, is at minus 19%. When you come to Texas, I'm going to talk about Texas, and particularly I will talk about Houston, because that is my market. And most of the people who ask me those questions, they are in the Houston market or in Texas. So that's what I'll talk about. So if you were to ask me if this is a good time to buy, this is how I will answer that question. Number one, I would look at the stocks of top builders. If you look at, for example, LGI Homes, which is number one in builder stock, their relative strength increased from 71 to 83. Relative strength is how the stock market would value companies based on their productivity. Number two, I will look at Meritage Homes. Meritage Homes, their relative strength went from 76 to 82. This tells you that the top two builders who are in residential and commercial real estate in the stock market, their relative strength is rising. Therefore, they are doing well in the market. In order for there to be a housing recession, you have to have inventory for at least 10 to 12 months. What is inventory? Inventory are the homes that are already built, the homes that are standing, ready to sell. You need to have 10 to 12 months of inventory before you talk about recession, before you talk about a buyer's market. And what is a buyer's market? A buyer's market is a situation where sellers are forced to sell low, house prices are forced to go low because there are fewer people who are buying houses than there are existing houses. So, but if you look at Houston today, the inventory for the last 4 months is at 3.5%. The Houston market, the Texas market is on a rise. And it will take us a long time for us to get to what 10 months or 12 months of inventory before we talk about a recession. Let's take a look at some markets in Texas. For example, if you look at Austin, the last quarter, Austin registered a 12.8% growth. San Antonio registered a 0.0% growth or change. But if you look at the national average, it is at minus 19% for the last quarter. See Austin with a net growth of 12.8%. In San Antonio, nothing changed in San Antonio. They didn't make any gains. They didn't lose anything either. But let me talk about Houston, which is the focus, which is my market. What happened in Houston? Compared to the last quarter of 2019 and the first quarter of 2020, Houston had a growth of about 6.9%. So we had about 80, 83, 87 last quarter in 2019 to a growth of about 89.63, and we have a 6.9% growth in the first quarter of 2020. You can look at the Houston market and you can make a decision if this is a good time for you to buy or not. Despite the coronavirus pandemic, the Houston market is still thriving. There are more people looking for houses to buy in Houston than there are existing houses. Still talking about the Houston market here. Lease went up by 1.2% for the first quarter of 2020 as compared to the last quarter of 2019. Median price increase was at 4.1%. Average price increase was at 3.8% in Houston. The days on the market is simply, we take the statistics and look at how long houses stay on the market on an average before they sell. Last quarter of 2019, days on the market was 65, and the first quarter of 2020, the days on the market was still 65. So there was no change about that. The total dollar volume, of houses that sold in March alone, 2020, rose to about 11.1%. And if you translate this into real values, we're talking about $2.6 billion. March 2020. So, this is how I will answer questions about if this is a good time to buy in Houston or in Texas. I will not depend on the news. I will do some research. I will talk about Texas migration. According to the 2010 census, about 1,000 people migrate to Texas per day. Where are they coming from? They're coming from the Northeast. They're coming from New York. They're coming from New Jersey. They're coming from Illinois. They're coming from California. They're coming from Maryland. What are some of the pull factors that are attracting some of these migrants? Harris County has the highest migration trends in Texas. According to the Tax Foundation, Texas is the 5th lowest state in terms of state tax and local taxes According to the CEO magazine, in 2017, Texas was #1 state safe to do business for 13 years in a row. Texas safest state for business, 13 years in 2017. Not only are people attracted, migrating to Texas, businesses are also migrating to Texas to take advantage of the low state and local taxes. Mortgage rates, I'm going to talk about mortgage rates as well. Mortgage rates now are low. And if you ask my opinion, I will tell you the rates will get even lower. It is my prediction by June, July, August, we're going to see mortgage rates drop to even 2 to 2.5%. When this happens, it will have a positive effect on the economy, triggering consumer spending. Because most people will now refinance their 4%, their 3 to 4% mortgages, and what happened? They will now have cash in their hand, and that would increase consumer spending. And that's how we will get out of this recession, because no matter how you look at it, no matter how you sugarcoat it, we are in a recession. And the best way to get out of the recession is to lower the mortgage rates, so that kind of put more money into the hands of consumer, which will trigger consumer spending. This is how we got out of the last recession in 2008. What happened? The Federal Reserve in 2008, they dropped mortgage rates from 5% to 3 to 3.5%. People who could not buy houses, now they could afford to buy houses because of low interest rates. Those who already had homes could refinance and took out some money, and that's how they were able to stimulate the economy, and gradually we got out of the recession. My thinking is the Federal Reserve, they know this, and they will do the same at this time. So don't be surprised if you see falling mortgage rates as an attempt to boost the economy. Am I guaranteeing that's going to happen? No. But I'm thinking that if the Federal Reserve is thinking like they were thinking back in 2008, this is what they will do. And that will have a very positive effect to the economy. If you were to ask me if this is a good time to buy, I will not look at the news. I will talk to people. I will talk to contractors. Are you busy? Is your phone ringing? I will talk to inspectors. Are you busy? How much volume of business are you carrying now as compared to last year? I will talk to title companies and find out how many closings are you doing now as compared to last year. Okay, I will talk to people who are selling houses. How long is the house in the market now to sell as opposed to last year? This is how you gather enough information to make a decision if this is a good time to buy, and not on what you see on TV. I talked about the market that I know, the Houston market, and I talk about Texas. So if you were to ask me, is this a good time to buy? I will base my answer, one, on the environment that I know and on research. And I will tell you, it is the best time for you to buy. Now, that is my opinion, and my opinion only based on the facts that I have presented. You can do your own research. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This is a movement. See you next. Thanks.